Welcome to the FMC Lounge, everyone. I am your host Joe for show, and in this video we're going to be going over my updated Valby guide with the new Arche tuning system that they added in season 2.2. Now if y'all can do me a favor, subscribe, leave a like, and a comment down below if you enjoy this kind of content. It will really help with the YouTube algorithm. It will help grow this channel a lot. I would appreciate it if y'all can do that for me. It only takes a few seconds, but enough of the yapping. Let's jump straight into the video. Now for the first build that I'm going to show you, it's still going to revolve around the hydro pressure bomb. The only thing that changed is the components with the arc tuning stuff, which I'll go to in a few seconds. But for now, for anybody who just wants a screenshot, here you go. All right, your time's up. Now we're using, we're still using double focus on fusion non-attribute, fusion application, and non-attribute application. Main reason why we're using non-attribute fusion because the whole ability revolves around our bubble bullet. And when you use the hydro pressure bomb, it also changes our second ability to fusion. Before it used to be a dimension, but the Descendant mod changes to fusion. So you have your bubble bullet, and then you have your hydro pressure bomb for a little bit more damage as well, depending on how you want to play. We're still running the same cooldown mods, one range, one skill cost. I don't run a duration. I prefer to have skill cost instead. It helps me spam more because I'm not using as much mana. And the way that she worked her passive, MP recover while you're on water. So I'm getting my MP back with the skill cost. It just allows me to spam more, which is why I prefer to have conversation instead of a duration. And I run double HP. Now if you don't want to run double HP, you can replace this with decimator for a little bit more damage on your tick damage for skill power modifier. Or you could run your duration if you want. It's up to you really what you want to do. Now like I said earlier, what changed about this build from my last updated Valby video is before I would run 2-piece annihilation and 2-piece hunter for the cooldown, just so we could spam this as a 1.4. Without it, if I ran the 4-piece slayer set, my cooldown time would be in 2 seconds, which I didn't want. But because of the Arche tuning, we're able to get the cooldown 1.4 while still running the 4-piece slayer set. So we're going to get the extra damage by running the 4-piece. And I'm running 2 HP, so I can have 14k health. Without 2 HP, I think it's like in the 10s or 9. I don't like being a glass cannon. That's not my playstyle. But that's what you want to do. Go ahead. The reactor, we're using the skill cooldown and non-attribute. The cooldown is the one that matters the most. The non-attribute, it's up to you. You go non-attribute. You go fusion, skill power boost, or probably cost, range, something. It's really up to you. Just make sure you have skill cooldown. Now for the main weapon we're using, it's going to be the Peacekeeper still. For anyone who doesn't know, the reason why is because of the unique ability. When you use a dimension or fusion, you could get a stack of 5 and you get damage increase for each stack. So that's why we use it. Now for the weapon cores and the substat, you really don't need to do anything. This weapon is just strictly a stat stick. But if you want to beef it up so you can do a little bit more damage, this is what I'm running, but it's not necessary. And for the mods, this is just what I run. Again, it's not necessary. Now for the Arche tuning, the route I went with is as much skill power as possible. You want to come over here and get this. Remember in a recent hotfix, they changed this. It used to be 10% skill power modifier, but instead they gave us 500 skill power. So just to let y'all know. And like I said, I want as much skill power as possible, so I went this route for the cooldown. With this cooldown, it allows me to run a 4-piece slayer set. Without this cooldown, I would probably still be using the 2-piece annihilation and the 2-piece hunter set. Now for our inversion reinforcement, the 3 I'm using is the neuro focus. So when we get kills, we get more MP. I'm using the selective neurostimulation, which is going to give me some of my MP back depending on which one activates. And then I'm running biodensity augmentation, so when I kill enemies I get more HP. Just make me stay more alive. Like I said, I don't like to be a glass cannon. I like to be tanky. That's just my play style. But this is what I'm using. Now for our second build, it's going to revolve around supply moisture. Before we get into the mods though, here you go. Go ahead and get your screenshot. Now this one we're going to do a little different. I could do 100% crit build and that works around the bubble bullet. But instead, I want to make it work around the plop and the cleanup. So instead of running fusion, we're going to be running dimension. We're also going to be running 3 crit hit mods, 1 damage, 1 crit hit rate, and then a mixture of both. Still focus on non-attribute, still the 2 cooldowns, 1 range, and 2 HP. Again, if you don't want to run 2 HP, swap this off for duration or decimator. It's up to you. Now for our reactor, we are going to be running a non-attribute and dimension reactor, and we want to make sure it has a critical hit rate because that's how we're going to get 100%, and you know, the crit hit damage, so we can do more damage as well. And our weapon of choice is again the blue beetle. Remember, it's a stat stick. We're using this to get the 100% skill critical hit rate. We are not using it for damage, and again, it's because of the unique ability. When you use a fusion ability, you get 150% more critical hit rate, and that's how we're going to get to 100%. Again, it's a stat stick, but if you want to see the mods, these are the mods. I'm not using it for damage, but you know, I just wasted material, who cares? And then here are the cores and the substat. Now for our component set, we are using the 4-piece layer. Same thing, we want as much damage as possible. And remember, our first ability is a fusion, so you'll use our first ability to get on water. Then that's when we start using, you know, our second ability or our third ability and stuff. And as you can see, we have 100% critical hit rate. Now for the Arche tuning, it's kind of similar to the non-crit. The difference is instead of going all the way up this way, we went this route because of the skill critical hit rate and the skill critical hit damage. You get a little bit more extra MP going this route, so this is why we came this way. Now for the inversion reinforcement, it's going to be the same as before. We're still using the neural focus, the selected neural stimulation, and the biodensity augmentation. I highly recommend, if you are going to use this build, is mainly to spam the second ability because you're going to get it back almost instantly, and since you can cover a wide range, it'll be easy to clear out enemies. So anyone wondering, even though we're not using a fusion mod and fusion reactor, our first ability still do a lot of damage even though if we're not using them. And so with this route for the 100% crit hit build, you basically had 3 different abilities you could use instead of only having 1 ability when you go the fusion route. Now just in case if you do need a Valby reactor, you don't come over here. I know this is going to show you, you know, weekly it changes and stuff, but I'm gonna show you a spot where it's going to always be there no matter the weekly at all. D2 areas, they're really not good farming spots. So what you want to do is you want to come to fortress, and this whole zone defensive line, you're going to farm this outpost. It could be next week, next month. This area is always going to drop non-attribute fusion reactor for Valby. I'll show you guys a quick little demonstration of what you're supposed to do at the outpost to get these reactors. If you want a non-attribute and dimension reactor, because if you want to change up your build and use the third and second ability more, you want to come over to White Knight Gulch, and this whole shipment base area is going to drop it. This whole area will always drop it. Like next week, next month, it'll always drop in this area. You don't need to go to, you know, this reward to see where it's at for the weekly rotation. And you come over here, you want to fast travel here, and you want to run this mission right here, and then it'll lead you around over here, and you just kill all the ads and you just repeat over and over. That's what you're going to do for the non-attribute and dimension reactor. Unfortunately, I don't have no gameplay. You're just going to have to take my words. Now for the boss build, before we get into it, go ahead and get your screenshots. There you go. Now we're going to be running fusion amplification, non-attribute, focus on fusion, focus on non-attribute, 2 cooldown mods, 1 range, 2 duration mods, and a dangerous ambush. We're not running any HP because we're hoping that the boss dies within, like, you know, 10-15 seconds, so we don't really need HP, so that's why we're not running one. Now for our reactor, we are using a non-attribute fusion to go with our first ability because the whole build works around spamming the first ability like before. Just make sure your 2 bottom stats is cooldown and Colossus. For the components, again, we are still running the same 4-piece layer set. It just, we want the extra damage, you know. For our weapon of choice, we're using the Peacemaker because the unique ability, like before in the first build, we want that extra damage from the stack from using our fusion skills because we're going to be spamming our first one. And with the Arche tuning that I'm about to show after this, we have a 1.5 second cooldown still. For the Arche tuning, we are going to it's basically the same as the non-crit. The only thing that changes really is we went up a little bit to get some duration up, so our water could last on the floor longer, do a little bit more tick damage for a few extra seconds. For the inversion, we are using what you call it. It's a little different from before. We are using an Arche circulation tactic. When we hit the boss, we're gonna get a cooldown for 10 seconds. We're using still selected neuro, and then we're using the void resistance. Since we are very squishy, if somehow we get hit, we could tank it a little bit. I just want to mention, I know you could use the ATAM for the Valby build and stuff. The reason why I'm not showing gameplay or talking about it really is because when you use this gun, it's not always going to be guaranteed crit hit damage. We got to remember, especially for these abyss boss, they have crit hit damage resistance. You're not always going to get that crit hit damage on the first shot. Sometimes you're going to miss and then you're going to wipe. It's very RNG. It's not very consistent. So because of that, I went a different route with the skill bossing build instead. One thing we got to remember when using this build, these bosses have RNG. Sometimes they're going to stun, sometimes they're not going to stun. I know you could just spam the first ability to get the kill. Me personally, I had bad luck. I had bad RNG doing it. This is why you see in the video, I did a different approach and I was able to get, under 30-second kill. It's better than, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's not a rush. 30 seconds, perfectly fine. Long as you get to kill, that's what matters. So do what worked best for you. This is what worked best for me. Well, that's gonna be it for this video. The rest of the video is just gonna be a gameplay of me displaying the 100% crit build. Thank you for anyone who watched. Remember, leave a like, subscribe, comment. It will help the algorithm, it will help the channel grow. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day or night. I'll catch y'all in the next video.